All right, on today's show, we are talking about what love really is. Now, it's not your traditional conversation about love. If you want to check this out, let's talk about it.
And we are Tristin and Michael, and you are listening to Fused Transparent Conversations for Marriage, Family, and Relationships. We invite you to join us as we discuss topics that are thought about but not talked about. So tell your friends and family to check us out. And as always, join us on social media or check out our website, Fused Marriages, for more content and resources. Hey,
What's going on with you today? You laughing? What?
you just make me smile. It's all good. I'm great.
Hey, I did salute you though when I saw you come out the room with that on. I did salute. I gave it to her. She looking like, what you doing? What you doing? Well, I mean,
He's so extra. He's so extra.
I need a woman that's pretty and can fight you with that fatigue on. Like you can go a little bit. You can do some damage.
So don't test me. I love hats, so
Yeah,
I love my
you
hats.
rocking it. Nice stuff.
My fatigue.
You're looking nice and you know what I mean, and strong and still look soft and caressable and all that good stuff.
Y'all, this man right here. You said caressable.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a word. I made that up, but hey, they know what I'm talking
I'm
about.
gonna take it though. Ain't no problem. I'm gonna take it. You look handsome too, sir. So I want to jump into our topic for today. So we are going to be discussing what love really is. What love really is. So I'm curious. I want to hear your thoughts about this, and we want to hear your thoughts about this. So please make sure that you share and that you join on in the comments so we can kind of read back and see what this conversation is all about. See if you agree or disagree. We want to hear from you. So what's love really about? What is it?
Well, I think at first we know love is complex. We got we can't. I don't know if we'll be able to dissect exactly every piece of love, but even though it's complex, I think we can identify maybe one or two things that kind of maybe that don't get talked about as much.
Okay.
And really try to get a good framework of what love is.
Okay, we ready?
Are you ready? Okay. You go. I get to toss the alley oop to me. I'm gonna do something with it. Then.
What was that move?
See, basketball players know what that is.
I know what the move was, even though I didn't play basketball. It was just a shoulder action.
Yeah, it's like, hey, give me the ball. I'm about to put it in, anyway. That's the alley-oop. So,
okay.
If you're not a basketball player, just ask somebody.
I know what the move was. It looked like it. Okay,
they may not know.
So this is not part of what love really is.
Yeah. It may be, though. Hey, you never know. You may never know.
It may be. Okay.
All right. So first of all, I think, I like music, right? I like music. They may not know I like music. So music often kind of can help describe some complex issues or things that,
right,
are hard to express or hard to understand. And I have this song I'm going to play. I found this song. It's an older song. It's not anything new.
Okay.
I think it's a great song, but I think it helps frame up what love really is. So as I get it queued up here, so the idea of this song, it's a concept, right? So just listen to it, put your ears to it. We'll talk about exactly what's being said, but I think it'll help frame up, maybe, if we can have a discussion, what love really is. All right, here we go.
Control is such an open-ended word for me. It's something that I used to think I owned. I'm standing here with none, I'm feeling so complete. You help me understand and let it go. And oh, you've turned this black heart, made it into gold. So I wanna let you know that my love and my touch up above is made with a warmth from my love.
All right. That's all you're gonna get for right now. But I think we gotta. If y'all didn't hear the lyrics, I'm gonna just repeat them. What was said? Okay. At least the part I want us to focus on. Okay. And the part I want us to focus on when she says, control is such an open-ended word for me. Okay. Let's let that sink in. She says, control is such an open-ended word for me. The next thing she says, it's something that I used to think I owned. Okay. Then she follows up and it says, I'm standing here with none, talking about control, and I'm feeling so complete. All right. You help me understand to let it go. Hey, this is so deep. I'm talking to myself right now. It's like, and it's the okay.
Okay.
So let's go back, right? So control is such an open-ended word. So going back to what love really is, and I'm gonna use this as a framework, right? Of really what love, what I believe love is, and we can have the discussion about it.
Okay.
I believe that love is not actually about holding on. We're gonna scratch that. People been talking about that. You got to hold on to this, hold on to them, this, that, and the other. I'm going to say love is about letting go control, letting yourself go to a place that you haven't been emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically with that person.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, as she says in the song, sometimes it takes a person to help you understand that you need to let it go. You may not be able to do that on your own or discover that you can do that on your own, but somebody will walk into your life and say, you know what, you need to let go.
Okay.
And they may not say those exact words, but you feel so free that you okay with losing control, right? They often say, you know what, people fall in love, right? Which really, in my mind, if I see that, you know what, not yeah, you fall in love, but the idea you letting go of is everything of who you thought you are, who you thought you would be, how you thought you would say. Now you're on the phone, now you're writing letters, now you're going on dates, spending all kind of money. You done let go of control, right? With the idea, because without letting go of control, can you really experience love? Right. So that's how I want to frame up the thinking of what we have here. And we can go back to the lyrics. We can start back with the points. I can get your thoughts on what you're thinking of.
I think we have the lyrics. It's a really beautiful song. And I think we have the premise of where you were wanting to kind of frame up our conversation for today is that love really begins and is you see through it through releasing. And I think that there are, as I'm processing this, I think that overall is true. I think it's the same when you start looking as a parent. You start off letting them kind of walk, releasing them a little bit, because if you don't, you cripple them. And that goes throughout life. When they're teenagers, it's a little, you still are there, you still have your hand involved, but you're releasing a little bit. And as they get older, you release a little bit more, because the opposite is suffocating and is not that it doesn't mean it's not hard to let go and to see where do we stand. So I think the same is true in spousal relationships and relationships with peers or friends. So yeah, I think that there is that to your thesis. I think that that's true. Releasing control is kind of almost a test of the love relationship.
Yeah, and I think I appreciate you for adding that input. And I started thinking about, okay, in my life, how did I ever realize what love really is, right? Did I get any examples of really, I'm talking about this, like losing control and somebody being in love, right? Because you can get in as an adult, maybe, but sometimes maybe kind of late. You can kind of figure it out. You may fall for the wrong person, this, that, and the other. And I think about, like you mentioned about as a kid, right, growing up, and when I got 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, whatever have you, and my parents lost control. My mom, particularly, she lost control, right? She didn't have as much say. She couldn't tell me what to do, tell me how to dress, this, that, and the other. But I didn't do everything right, but she still loved me, right? So to me, that was one example, right? Of like losing control and seeing someone like, man, they still love you, even though they don't really have necessarily control of the situation. Right. And then I can even go to our own relationship, right? Whenever we got married, right? Even before that, the things that you had gone through, I had gone through, like literally, I didn't have control over some of the circumstances, right? Say, you experienced some things, this, that, and the other, that I really didn't, it didn't involve me, but it came with you. And I had to decide to say, okay, I don't have control over those external things. Do I still want to love her?
Yeah.
Right. And I had to say, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna lose control. Literally, in this case, I can't control it, and I want to love this woman.
Yeah, that makes me think of like a lot of things. So now I have all these ideas swirling around because I also think, okay, what does it look like to control? So that we know what it looks like not to. And it made me start to think of like the need to go through somebody's phone. That's like a kind of a because you want to control, you want to know, you need like your hands in that moment versus it's not that having passcodes, I'm not arguing against having the passcode to somebody's phone is a negative, or your spouse's in particular, but to say, okay, I have to know these things, or that's how I prove that you love me because I have control versus saying, if I'm not going through your phone, are you honoring me when I'm not in the room? Are you respecting me when I'm not there? I think that that's an interesting distinction just on a baseline level, just for an example level, because if my love is proven by how much I have to control you, I have to know where you're going all the time and who you're going to be with and how long you're going to be out and what you're going to be eating while you're there. And, I have to know who you talk to this day versus it being an open, hey, I just want to hear about your day and let's communicate. Now, there's obviously circumstances when there's been a disservice or mistrust and you have to build those things back. But I know that you love me not by me forcing you, for example, to say like, you have to give me the passwords to your account, or I have to look through your phone each night or while you're sleeping, versus I know that you love me because you could do anything, but you decide to choose me. You decide to be with me and I choose you as well. So I think it's an interesting mix on just one example level to determine what love can look like when it isn't control. And if we were to take it to a biblical example, that we see in scripture that Adam and Eve were given freedom of choice. And if we look at that example, they were given freedom of choice. You can choose what you decide to do. And sometimes we don't always make the right choices as they didn't. But if we look at our spouse and our relationship and say, you get to choose, you get to make a choice where you're going to spend your money, where you're going to spend your time, where you're going to put your energy, and versus me saying, this is how I want it done. This is how it must be done. This is how you didn't buy me this, or you didn't take me here, or you didn't pick this up for me. Then that becomes a relationship that's really suffocating, and you're going to actually get the adverse of what you really want, because people long for a freedom. I want to choose you. And I think that that's one of the things that makes marriage so beautiful. When you say your vows, is it's out of all of the women or out of all of the men, you're the one that I want. Because I had a choice of all of these people and I chose you and you chose me. So now this is a sacred union where every day we get the opportunity to choose each other again and again and again. And that makes it beautiful, because every day you could say, nah, I don't want to. But because you do, we have something that's really important and really beautiful.
Man, your Adam and Eve comment, that is powerful. I think that right there, it might be the ultimate example, right? Because people always make the argument, at least talk about like, well, if God made this perfect place, why even let the serpent do? Why do you have these options, right? And you said it, right? Because literally God wanted us to choose him freely without any constraints.
Yeah.
God wasn't interested in controlling, right? We're not trying to make the Bible study, but it's so true what you're saying. But like, no, he wasn't into controlling us.
Yeah.
Right? He wanted us to express our love freely to him without him having to have his thumb on us, as you said, being on the phone or checking on you, to say any other. So to me, that's a template, like even for marriage, relationships, to say any other, to say, hey, if you really love someone, we keep those constraints that you may be having, maybe hindering the love that you really want.
And I think sometimes, even as we expound on this more, sometimes people have that kind of controlling propensity for protections, for things that they've experienced. Like in our relationship, and we've talked about it before, I came in with a lot of walls up because of my whole life that I had before you, all of those experiences gathered together. And there were parts that I didn't even know were there until somebody tried to like pushed through that door or tried to open that lock to like, no, this is here for a reason. There are plenty of other places that you can go, but not here. And I know I'm not the only one like that. I know a lot of us have lived life in such a way that we had to put up guardrails, that we had to say, okay, this won't happen again. Like I got my eyes out. But in doing so, just like that door keeps something out, it keeps something in, and there's a hesitancy that I know I experienced. And when I had to tear down some of those walls, that was a really scary and hard thing. And it's taken me a really long time to let somebody in some of those spaces, somebody, you, of course, but letting somebody in some of those spaces that I had reserved just for me in an unhealthy way. There are some things like that you can have for yourself, but in an unhealthy way, I said, nope, you might be my husband, but this is not happening. We've talked about it before when we talked about finances. Y'all, I was like, you're not going to be all up in my account.
And no. That's not even really how serious it was. I couldn't even pick the change up off the table.
It was big.
Without letting her know, like, hey, I'm putting this change in. I'm putting in a change drawer, by the way. We got a little change, little thing, we put it in. She said, where my change at?
That's true.
I said, I put it in a change drawer. You didn't ask me. I said, oh, okay. I didn't know, y'all. It was 55 cents. I didn't know. I didn't know.
He's not lying. He's not lying.
But I mean, to me, that's a true statement. I mean, that's really a real thing that we have to go through, and figure out and grow from. I mean, we all have control issues.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for sharing your. That's a good one.
Yeah, because I had to know if you drop out or if you aren't consistent or if we're in need, I got me. And even when listen, y'all, this is real talk. Even when we got married, I still was like, I don't know, because I had to live my life. I had to take care of myself for such a long time that I was accustomed to taking care of myself and not having somebody have my back, where we were exchanging information and where truly what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine. I didn't buy into that. It took a long time. But I say that to say I had to tear some walls down. So that's some of my experience. What are your ideas or your thoughts about what it takes to release control in areas that we've had to protect ourselves in? What does that look like?
I think, just the idea of, first of all, you got to recognize you may have controlling tendencies, which I think we all do.
I do.
I think we all need to evaluate ourselves and say, I don't really control, but like we do though. Right? Something.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the idea of just recognizing that, of saying, okay, you know what? I may have controlling tendencies. Mm-hmm. Right. And it may not play out relationally directly, but it ends up spilling out over somewhere. Right. Mm-hmm. So to me, I think the first part is awareness of saying, okay, if I desire love, everybody don't desire it, but if most of us should, but if I desire love, I got to learn to let go. Mm-hmm. And can I let go with at least one person? Like, can I just be everything? I can drop any reservations about who I am, what I say, what I think, and that may be ongoing, by the way. I may not be just something you just do.
It's ongoing.
Once I try to like really what that looks like. Can I just lay it down with this person, with my wife, with my husband? Can I just lay who I am, my fears, my anxieties, my whatever it is, like the missteps I've had? Can I just lay it down and be, I'm gonna say, naked and unashamed? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? In front of this person. You can't do it to everybody. I understand that. You may not, that's not for everybody to see that.
Right.
But if we're going to be in this, I think that got to be where you're aiming for. Mm-hmm. Right. And that may be an aim, because you may not just all of a sudden just start doing it, but you walking toward that.
Yeah. You said something that made me think. You said not everybody desires love, but I think everybody does. I think everybody in some way, I almost think that control is because you want love so badly that you have to put things in a certain order for it to be received based on life experiences or whatever. Because I don't know that a child comes out not wanting that. But I think that there's so much damage that is done to us over time in life, in and out of relationships, through parental situations, through, different stages of financial independence and, work and schooling and education and all of that. I think that something happens to us where we start trying to make life work for us. And in some cases, making life works for us means everybody has to do what I say in this area. It's like, hey, if you're going to be in my life, these are the boundaries, and those are not necessarily healthy boundaries that we create for ourselves. Because we don't create healthy boundaries, then we have shifts in our mindset that affect how we see other people. And as I process even that, it's because of something inside of us that we need to do. You said it at the beginning, a self-awareness. There's a test that you have to do on yourself to say, hey, Tristin, hey, fill in the blank with your name. Am I good? Like, am I good with me? Am I okay with myself in the areas that I'm not really working on those things? Because then you come into a relationship and you're making that other person responsible for the areas that you're not okay with you in. So because I'm not okay with how people might get into my finances and what they might want to know and what they might use it for and how they might kind of come after if they know I have this set aside, then I'm coming to you and I'm looking at you crazy and I'm going off on you for picking up 55 cents of change off of the counter because that's my money. I had that change and I put it there. So I'm projecting something that's wrong with me and how my mindset is on to you. So that kind of brings me to this different question that I want to pose to you is releasing the mindset of Blake when I'm thinking about what love really is. What is that? What does that look like? How do you do it? Maybe how do we see it from maybe a male's perspective perhaps, or is it the same? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I can definitely answer from the male perspective. I'm gonna lean on you to answer from the female perspective. What does that look like? Okay, you got this. No, you got this because you didn't.
I'm a little off, y'all know.
Whatever have you. But from the male perspective, right? Because like a lot of us, some of us, maybe waiting to get married or waiting to serious relationship. We're like, we don't like. Why is he not pursuing girls? Females may ask that. He's not pursuing me, or I can't find any eligible with this, that, and the other. I think part of the issue may be is that a lot of men are waiting to achieve X, whatever the X is. It could be, I'm waiting till I get, this career up and running and moving and this, that, and the other before, which is good because, we got to be taking on responsibilities. I'm not trying to say, but they keep pushing that out. Like, I'm waiting to achieve this, right? This financial status, right? Which is what we providers. So I get it to a certain extent, but a lot of us keep pushing that into the forefront. Like, once I get this in this place, then I will, but while in the meantime, your perfect woman is walking in front of you, moving on because she's like, well, hold on. Like, she'll help you, y'all build together, whatever. That's okay. Some of us are maybe superficial in a way, like, we trying to go to the gym, you getting tatted up, getting our buff on.
Getting yoked up.
Yeah, getting yoked up, trying to like be something before we kind of actually maybe approach somebody or step in a situation. And I hate a lot of us, but I'm pretty sure some guys may end up doing that, of me thinking that like, okay, once I get, looking right, dressing right, get the right car, get the right house, I can attract the right female. And it's like, you're waiting on that and like delaying love and like maybe missing it, right? The love you're looking for could be there already.
I think that crosses genders because I think that it can happen for a woman in the same way where she's looking to, well, when I get my education or when I get my doctorate or when I get my house, I think that that's a possible thing that we're waiting for or delaying love until we get these other things. But I also think that there's another side of it where it might be unintentional, where we are masking our control or our lack thereof by achieving. Like, okay, I don't have this, so screw that. I'm going to go do this, this, and this, and trying to pretend as if it's not important because it's not there. So I don't have a relationship, so I'm going to just do me, like I'm going to get these other things. And I think that that's a disservice to what love is too, that love is this, it is this thing that is given freely. And I think that there, like you said at the top of the show, there are so many ways that we can experience it because it is multifaceted, it is multidimensional. We determine in terms of, husband, wife, if that's not there, then I'm going to fill this gap with these other things versus these other things being other aspects of me, even while I'm in the waiting, even if it's something that I still want, I'm able to achieve these things, not in spite of that. Did that make sense?
That makes sense. No, that makes sense. I like it.
Because I've heard a lot where people are like, well, I'm doing this, and they think that they are increasing like their desirability. And maybe they are among some, but the real goal is to do the internal work. So whoever comes around, whenever they come around, they might like your accolades or they might like the things that you have achieved, but they really are in love with you. And I think that sometimes we do these other things thinking that that's where the love is going to lie, when it really is who you are. Because at the end of the day, you know, the degrees are degrees, and whatever letters you have behind your name and whatever house that you're in, they're going to fall in love with who you are at your core. So the rudimentary work needs to be done in addition to all of the other things that you want. But if you're working on all the external things and not working on the internal thing, then you're still going to be dissatisfied because the person is going to love the stuff more than they love you.
Yeah. I mean, I think what you just described is really the ultimate control aspect, right? Where you want somebody to love you, right? You're looking for this relationship, want somebody to love you fully for you. You can't control that. So you go do the education, right? I can control if I get in school, what grade I get, this, that, and the other, or I do the career thing, right? We do that a lot too. Go to the career, this, that, and the other. I'm looking for, Mrs. Wright. She ain't came yet, but I can control that. So I go do what I can control. Which then you can get caught. There's nothing wrong with pursuing those things, but you can get caught up in the cycle of saying, you know what, well, I only deal with what I can control. Then when you can't control that woman or that man, you run them off because they like, oh, no, I don't work like that. I'm a person. I'm not your job, I'm not your career, this, that, and the other. I handle you like what I've been practicing. I've been practicing controlling things. I ain't never really fully let go. You know what I mean? So I think you fed into something on that one.
What do you do with the fear of what it is to let go?
I think, well, what do you do with the fear? I think you have to do, it's almost like, hey, whenever you start anything you get kind of afraid of, you got to step into it. You got to step into it. Maybe it's just, to me, I'm the type of person like, hey, you know what? It's like, that's what I claim I do. If y'all see me do something different.
Still a work in progress.
I'm still working on me. But when I tell myself, hey, I'm going to let go, I'm going to jump into it. Right? And I may be slow to jumping into it. I may not jump into it on the first, second time, whatever, say any other. But once I go, I'm all in. You can probably go from that. Once I'm in, I'm in. Like it ain't no like looking over the shoulder, turning back, nothing. Yeah. I'm all in. So I think to me, that is my advice for people that maybe because you know what, that can stomach that. Everybody can't stomach that, right?
Yeah.
But I think you do have to practice letting go. You can't get because you're practicing something. And you just got to find different pieces and different ways that maybe you can with in safe environments, safe situations where you can let go.
Yeah, because as we're discussing it, I think a lot of it is fear. I think it's that fear factor of if I let this go, then what other dominoes are going to fall? What if I give my heart to this person and then they crush it? I can't go through that. Or I've been through it already, I'm not doing it again. Or I've been married, I got divorced, it was horrible, I don't want to get married again. Wow, I'm not doing that again. Wow. Or, like, hey, I did this with my first child, I let them have this amount of freedom and this happened. I got this other one, nope, I'm hover parent. I'm not walking that road again. So I think that to what you said, taking a small step in that direction, and the more small steps, maybe your steps get a little bit bigger and they become a little bit more frequent, so that as you're taking these steps, you're opening your world to love and to being loved back versus people just being obedient to what you're saying. I have one quick question as we close the show. I want you to, and I'll give you the last word on this, consider what love looks like if it looks different than the way that you might have imagined it before.
Yeah, to me, all of us got a image in our head, right, of what we see and what we want and this, that, and the other, whether it's a guy, what's a girl, right? We want, the guys want the Bonnie and Clyde type, she ride or die, whatever have you, because we gotta like, whatever I'm in, she in. We want them until y'all maybe having something different, right? Some Romeo, Juliet, whatever. I don't know what y'all watching nowadays.
Those are both Both of those, they died horribly in the end of both of
that
those
that wasn't really what I was getting at, but they got anyway. Y'all got what I'm saying. Y'all want something different. They want something different. You know what I mean? What notebook style? Maybe I don't know. Anyway. But I think we have to get we have to get in our mind to say, hey, what if it doesn't show up exactly how I thought it would show up?
Yeah.
Right. I wanted somebody, you know what, that cook and this, that, and the other, and they gonna make sure the kids taken care of. But what if she's a you know what I mean? She's CEO and you know what I mean, and she making sure you good and you can go play golf when you want to play golf. Like, what if it shows up differently?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So just be open to that. You may have somebody like that, like you thinking like she should be somebody, he should be somebody, he should be this. He should be doing more house cleaning. He should be bathing them kids and this, that, and the other. But maybe what is he, maybe he cutting the grass, make sure the house is done, or maybe he got your bath water in and you know what I mean, he taking you out on night. I don't know, but like it may look different. Just be open to that. Be open, that's all.
Be open to different, be open to releasing control and exploring yourself and some of those things that you need to do for you. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you all for joining us today for this conversation. We invite you to check out all of our social handles as well as our website, fusedmarriages.com, for more content and resources. Let's talk about it.
Michael Tristin.